Can't be that far now.
I could see Mirror Peak in the distance. That's where Cauldron Lake was.
I am absolutely flush with supplies, though. It's been very generous to me, this particular chapter. Oh, no. No. Do I get to ride in a minecart? Are we ready? Are we ready for a roller coaster? This is such a bad idea. It's such a bad idea. Like, it's fine now. Oh, we're gonna get attacked by birds on this. Absolutely. How about no? Oi! What, is that it? That was boring. I thought we were going to ride all the way. Come on, there's got to be more. That can't be it. That can't be the only minecart section. The game would not do that to me. It would not give me a trickle, a morsel, a fragment. Alright, so I can go down there, or I can go up here. Which way is the correct way? I reckon this might be a cache. Because the ladder is far more obvious. Yeah, there we go. You get a sense for these things. Anything useful down here? Maybe this would be where one of the pages is. What's that? Why would they put some scratch marks on the floor? I'm obviously meant to be up top here. Easy. I'm so good. Okay. I hope I can get back through from this side. Yeah, looks like I might be able to weave underneath here. Or not. Oh, there we go. Does that mean I don't have to deal with these things when I'm up here? Because I've already done it when I'm down there. I feel like one of my weakest parts of, like, game commentary. Sometimes I just say things like here and there and that stuff all the time. Oh, no, Alan. No, bad Alan. Stop. Sometimes I say stuff like here and there and that and it all the time rather than describing it. I think that makes it better. If I'd say, instead of saying like, oh, I don't have to deal with them up here because I've already dealt with them down there, I'd say, well, I don't have to deal with them on this raised platform because I already dealt with them when I was below. Am I supposed to be going down here, or is this where I came from? I think it was just another way. Just there's two ways up to get to this walkway. Right. Ooh, that shack's got light in it. More burbs. Those birds provide no threat. Maybe I should have put the final episode on Nightmare mode, just to see. Okay, back up. Take a breath. Get some stretches in. There was a very small gap in front of me. Only appeared to be around about 3 or 4 feet. But considering that previously I've gotten out of breath from running across a small courtyard, I wasn't sure if I could make the jump. But I have to make it, because I need to go save Alice. Even though Alice was mean to me in that flashback. I made the jump fairly easily. However, if there's an infinite number of different alternate realities, then there's one where I fell down there and broke my legs. Maybe this is that reality. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to pretend. Okay, this time, Brad, don't be a tit. You're going to get attacked by a swarm of birds from the back. Sometime today. There they are. Already in the light. Easy. And when I push this, I'll have to fight those other ones that spawned when I was below. There we go. Just swinging it round, trying to get more birds. There we go. Look how many birds there are in the sky. That'd be cool. I see, in real life, that'd be really cool. Tons of birds in the air. See, look at that. Look at that fun minecart area that I could have played on. Thermos. Is that more birds? Sounds like more birds. Birds? Oh, it's you. Just one random guy up there just chilling. Oh, bad birds! You know what I've not found so far in this section? So there's been birds, there's been taken. We've not had any bear traps. I'm just expecting loads of bear traps to turn up now. Big boom. Making good progress. Checkpoint reached. The safety of the light. There's a lot of beer around here. Like empty beer cans. There's also a lot of derelict, abandoned buildings. Obviously there's a ghost town nearby, maybe that's been preserved for historical reasons, but there's so many, like, abandoned buildings around here. Maybe it's a distinctly US thing, to have, like, open areas of woodland or farmland with random, like, derelict buildings that are no longer in use. I mean, I guess there's also that kind of thing in the UK. Like, farmland does often have old buildings that aren't in use. Because the people just built better buildings but not got rid of the old ones. Oh, well, I mean, we really are. Damn. Very calm of you. I bet that guy would have been quite difficult on any other difficulty. He felt like a very dangerous enemy. I'm gonna get attacked while I'm doing this. I'm taking too long. Can I do it in time? No! I need a flare. I desperately need a flare. There we go. Oof. That's not going to stay on forever though, is it? I want to pick up that thing there. The flare gun ammo. Give! Give it to me! Have I got full? Maybe I do. Let's use the flag on the next enemy. Ooh, a propeller. Music's getting intense and dramatic now. You're not worthy of a flare gun. Oh, you might be now. Oh, come on! As soon as he gets close, he's gonna get flare gun. That's not fair. Hey, bro. Hey. Not so quick now, are we? Is it in the story that the Dark Presence isn't allowed to kill Alan here? What's that noise? Sounds like something big. Just because it keeps throwing these things, but none of them land on him. Oh, someone's attacking me. And I'm being... there it is. There it is again. With a quick boy. I'm in a really awkward spot to fight one of these guys. Might get my flashbangs out. He's still moving swiftly, isn't he? Yeah, I've got a momentary reprieve. Flashbang, furnace, flashbang. I must be close now. There's Mirror Peak. Oh, this is all the stuff that it said it's throwing at me. That's why all these things have been landing here. So this is the boat. And I think there was that propeller earlier as well, wasn't there? Is that going to come alive? Oh, there's a lot of things going on here. Drop the flashbang. Oh. I could just tell I would be so annoyed if I was playing this on any other difficulty. I am obviously going to summarise when I've finished my overall opinions on the things like combat. I think I've made it very clear that it's not for me. I like it in concept. I don't really like it in execution. I feel like a few simple changes would have made it a lot more tolerable. I like it. I mean, I wasn't really that scared. I was nowhere near it. I guess I'm heading towards this light here. What was that? Oh, shit. He's just going to drop loads of shit on me now. What's that? Oh, another piece of boat. Massive boat. I feel like maybe I'm supposed to be a bit further ahead. So throwing these things at me isn't really jump scaring me as much as it could because they're not right in front of me. I do like this though, it is kind of cool. Launching random bits of debris at me. Feels like we're getting close. This is Mirror Peak, right? Or is this Mirror Peak? Which means I think I'm on the other side of that crack there is where I'm supposed to be going. More supplies. Okay, if it's giving me some stuff like this, the darkness wears her face. I reckon one more big confrontation outside this shack. This is the breather. Gonna have one more big fight. And then we arrive there. Pump action shotgun. Shotgun ammo. The darkness controls the taken. It makes more sense now why this text repeats itself. It's because it's not supposed to be written with intent of where the person is on their journey. Cynthia's just writing the same messages everywhere in hopes that people would see them somewhere. Good job, Alan. Nice job jumping down there, mate. Yeah, this feels like a fight arena. Is that another flare? Oh, there's a button I can press here. As soon as I press this, there's also another one over the other side as well.
I needed to get the generator running.
Of course you do. Maybe if I'd spent a day in my life working out, instead of sitting in a chair or drinking, I'd be able to just climb over small obstacles and easily get to my destination. It is true, though. There's so many situations where you probably could just climb it. Like, where we are now, I'm guessing I'm meant to be getting up there. I think maybe I need to provide power to that thing so it can take me across the way. But, come on, Alan. Come on, just walk it. It's fine. You can do it, bro. There are plenty of flares, flashbangs, and things on the floor. Meaning that as soon as I press this button, this area will probably fill with evil bad guys. It's like I predicted it. Almost like this is a video game and some parts of it are a little bit predictable. Oh, Jesus. It is definitely flare gun time. Oh. The slow motion kills are perfect. It might be a bit too easy. Wow, that is phenomenally slow. That's just a warning shot. Alright. This feels like it is going to be my arrival to Cauldron Lake. Ooh. This is my final page I can get in this section. No, there's one more down there. The way through the dark place.
After Zane had gone, I stood alone in the shifting dream that was the dark place. I had to find a way to the cabin. I'd written myself a way through this place in the manuscript. I followed the idea of a path. I'd written myself across the ocean that blocked my way, and with that, there was a bridge to the island beyond. The idea of the cabin flickered in the underwater darkness. I willed the cabin to be real, and it was.
Prediction for what's going to happen here. So, I think that we're going to arrive at the lake, and then Alan is obviously going to click this clicker, and probably jump into the lake, or at least find his way into the lake. And we're going to get an incredibly over-the-top, like, ethereal, atmospheric situation where Alan's going to be, like, in this entire darkness void, and he'll speak to Thomas Zane. And then, obviously, this description here where it's like, oh, I was trying to imagine the cabin, and then we're going to be in this like vast ocean of darkness, and Alan's going to will the cabin into existence. It's going to be there. It's going to be like an ocean.
Turn back now.
Nope. Oi. No. Let me past. None of this nonsense. You cannot stop me. I am Alan.
Do as you're told.
Nope. She does feel really passive in that everything that she's throwing at us is just doing nothing. That took a while to go. It's like she's trying so hard. But Alan's just like casually walking through like it's nothing.
Alice never loved you.
Oh. Things are heating up now. That's cool. I guess I'm supposed to drop down. Oh, is it going to give me a staircase to get down? Oh, that's nice of you. Never! Oh, badass. I am the light. I am the light! I'm gonna use all my flares doing this. It's so badass. Alright, it's time. It's clicker time. I go further. Let me through! This is why I've got all of these flares. So I can walk. Oh, I fucking can. I'm Alan Wake! I thought I was going to fall into a hole. Oh no, come on! Come Alan Wake! No! I didn't know there was actually a hole there. Oh, that took way too long. Ow. Jump the gap! Or do I have to fire a flare gun into it? Yeah! Take this! No, I won't! I'm Alan! Oh. No, I'm not. I'm Alan! To keep screaming, I'm Alan, until people take the hint. I never thought the words I'm Alan would hold so much power. Here we go, do it. Jumping. It'd actually be really funny if he didn't jump in, he just slipped. Hell.
Baby, you were having a bad dream. It was just another nightmare.
Can't tell if she's supposed to be creepy or if it's just the facial animations.
You're home.
It wasn't a dream.
Everything's fine.
Turn the lights on.
It's supposed to be creepy.
Turn the lights on!
Wait, do I play this?
Shh, baby. The power's out. There's no light. Come back to bed and I'll make you forget all about your fear of the dark.
Okay.
My fear? It's your fear. Why aren't you afraid? You're not Alice. Turn the lights on now. Where's the clicker? What did you do with it?
Alan, honey, you're still 1 foot in a dream. You're not making any sense. Come back to bed.
Okay. Go on then. Come on, come on. Fine. God. You think a game would let you choose your own path? Okay, do the story. Oh. That's creepy. Wow. He does have 2 sinks, you're right. Somebody said earlier he's got 2 sinks. Why would you have 2 sinks? Is that a thing? Like, is one for washing something and one for washing something else? Is one purely a ball washing sink? So that's luxury right there.
You're scaring me now. Come back to bed. Have you taken your pills? Do you want me to call Dr. Hartman?
Yeah, okay, so you teleport into a different room.
Departure is your best work yet. You're a genius. I'm so proud of you. Come back to bed. We'll talk more about it in the morning.
No. Well, see, there's a typewriter. I can finish my story. Find the clicker. Oh, yeah, this is definitely real, though, isn't it? There. Look, her teleporting into a different room surrounded by black shadows. Absolutely real. Clicker's not in here. Get out of the way.
Come back to bed.
Oh, that's creepy.
Come back to bed, Tom.
Whoa. Oh, he's manifesting it, I see.
You must find your way to the cabin. It stands in your way. It won't let you pass. It has no heart. It's filled with darkness. You must fill its heart with light. Don't mind him. He's Mr. Swift. Your friends will meet him when you're gone. Use the clicker.
Am I missing something? Yeah, so these are the words around him, and you have to shine them to bring things into existence. That's a pretty cool little thing. So, like, shopping cart. You can bring it into existence by shining on it. I don't know how much of the landscape I'm supposed to be bringing in. Bird. I guess I need to just make the stuff I need to make. So I don't need to make anything. Ooh, shoebox. I can get something from...
What?
I'm leaving you. I met someone. I'm in love with someone else.
Fuck you.
Alice? No, what are you saying? You can't...
You don't love me. How could you? You don't even love yourself. All you do is torture yourself with work you can't do anymore.
No, I love you more than anything in the world. You're my muse.
I'm not.
Who are you? What have you done with my Alice?
Alan? What are you doing? Put the light back on! What are you doing, Alan? Stop! Put the light back on!
It wasn't true. Nothing like that had ever happened.
This is very trippy. I like it. Diver's Isle. I'm bringing it into existence. I'm doing it. Come on, bird. Yeah, be free, bird.
You're not my Barbara.
Tom, let me go. I promise to be good. Please, untie me, you naughty boy. I will help you write your masterpiece. I will love you forever.
No, you're not Barbara Jagger. I made a terrible mistake. I should have never written you back. You came back wrong. Your heart is filled with darkness.
Put that knife away, Thomas. Put it down.
Heart is filled with darkness. I'll cut it out. I'll take you back to the depths of caves then.
So you actually cut her heart out. Let's go see if we can answer this phone. Oh, this one isn't ringing. If you try running into things, it hurts you. Bird.
Get away from me, you hag.
What the hell was that?
Let me go.
Alice! Alice! I'm coming!
Your
Oh,
husband
Alice.
refused to do as he was told. All he had to do was write what I wanted him to write. Now it's too late. It's his fault. You'll stay here forever.
Nope, you won't. I'm here. It's Alan time.
Now you will never get her back.
Ooh.
I am much older than you. Older than your first work of art. I will find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
Click this. Okay, I was having to go at him earlier for one-liners, and mine wasn't particularly good, was it? Click this! Right, now I've got to finish the story. Come on.
I could feel Alice's presence close by. I understood what I had to do now. I knew how to write the ending to Departure. There's light and there's darkness. Cause and effect. There's guilt and there's atonement. But the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price. That's where Zane had gone wrong.
Betrayed himself.
There's a long journey through the night back into the light.
Is he rewinding time?
Alice?
Looks like
Alice?
it, yeah.
Oh no!
This is cool. This time-lapse effect. Yeah! We did it, everyone. Yeah. She's gonna have no clue what happened.
Alan? Alan?
She's turned into that raptor on the plane. Alan! Is that our ending? Or are we going to get like an epilogue with Barry? The Deer Festival! Oh, this is what we all wanted. All these mentions of the Deer Festival. Everyone's back. Alan saved the day. But at what cost? What cost? Oh. Has Alan installed her as his new Lady of the Light?
It's an ocean.
Alan, wake up.
That was abrupt. Looks like that's the end. Interesting. So Alan's ending, he's undone everything. And he has traded himself. I mean, if he's undone everything, then surely he's also undone the death of the Shadow, because it was still there. It still dragged her under the water. He just swapped himself for her. Which means it's presumably also, if you watch this on YouTube, I'd probably turn this off because it's Ground Control to Major Tom is playing. What's it called? Space Oddity. And that is obviously gonna get copyrighted. But I'd replace it with some ominous royalty-free music. This is definitely copyright. Yeah, it definitely is. Maybe if I talk over it, Twitch won't catch it. Maybe it could be that like if it's part of this game, then it's fine. Yeah. So, but if Alan undid, everything, then yeah, he undid the death of the thing as well, right? It's not a lake, it's an ocean. Okay, so Alan is... I'm trying to figure out the story here. Alan... The music's so distracting. I want to leave the credits on. I always leave the credits on. It's a good song. You know, maybe I should take this off so I can think without hearing music playing in my ears. Okay, so Alan swapped places with Alice, but as we saw from that ending, he is still sat at that typewriter in the darkness or in the lake. Because does the lake have power, or is the creature, the entity that lives in the lake, the darkness, the thing that has the power? Or is it just that the darkness was a thing that was created by Thomas Zane when he resurrected his girlfriend, wife, without sacrificing something in return for that trade, I guess. No, not for that trade. No, that's not what I meant. Oh, and the problem is, because I've got the credits on, I don't like to cut this bit. I can't cut that out. I can't let the mistakes in there forever. No, I'm interested to look into, like, if I read, like, the wiki or something, I'm interested to look into the story that's, like, written up there and just see what the conclusions are drawn. So I don't know if the wiki stories are written with knowledge of further on in the franchise. Like, there is an Alan Wake 2. There's also Alan Wake... What's it called? Waking Nightmare. It's not a sequel, but it is a sequel. It's like a expansion story, sort of. I think uses the same game engine and just does a bit more extra on the story. But I don't know if you need to play that to play Alan Wake 2. Like, I don't know whether that's a big part of the story or whether it's just something extra for people who are waiting for the sequel. Yeah, I don't know how long these credits are going to be. It was a full game, very well made. So I imagine there's a lot of people involved. The specials team, Sam Lake. Wait, Sam Lake. When was that mentioned? Sam Lake was the person who was on the talk show. Maybe that was modelled after someone who worked on the game then. That's kind of cool. Nice little Easter egg. Screenplay. Why is the screenplay so far down? Isn't that a big part of the game? Is the story. So. Usually the credits of games that I play are a lot shorter than this. Because I tend to play a lot of indie sort of stuff that only has a short credit list. Sam Lake is the boss of the company. Well, I don't know. Well, there you go. Nice little cameo of the boss of the company on the TV at the start of this episode. I don't think I've ever listened to this song like properly all the way through. I only know the main part. Obviously, you can't hear this, but Space Oddity's just gone places. Drawing to the end now. Yeah, anyone who hasn't watched a full one of my playthroughs before, I always leave the credits on because I think it's... these are the people who made it. These are the people who put their time and effort into making this game. So I like to give them the recognition they deserve on screen as I finish. Well, but like I said, that means I also don't cut this bit out because I'm letting it roll. And normally when I make my big speeches about the game, you'll notice that there's a fair few cuts because what I tend to do is condense it down into the stuff that's like the stuff that I think sounds better, because I ramble a lot, and out of that rambling there's like some segments that sound really good and the rest of it's all just nonsense, and so I always trim it down into the best stuff. But I can't do that when I'm leaving the thing on because it's here the whole time. I mean, in theory I could, because my audio track's recorded separately, so I could take a bit of me talking from later on and move it back to now and then put the audio over it, and I make myself sound a lot better. But I've committed now. I've committed to leaving me on, and I'm trying to fill this space, and the credits are still going. Right, I'm going to just get into the summary of my thoughts on the game in that case, because obviously this might go on forever. I don't know how long it's going to last. Credits are still rolling. So, Alan Wake, what do I think? It was shit. It was a great game. I actually did really enjoy it, despite the fact that I had a lot of complaints throughout based on the experience I was having with the combat. The game is genuinely extremely good. It's obviously very well made. A lot of passion's gone into it. Major props for the story. I like games that have a very solid story in them, and this one was very interesting. This it kept me guessing, especially in the early chapters when there was so many mysteries being thrown around, and it was obviously up until somewhere in chapter 4 when it all started to come together as to what was actually happening in the game, and then you got all the big reveals, I think, in chapters 4 and 5, episodes 4 and 5, same thing. So yeah, whoever wrote the story, at the screenplay, whatever it was earlier, that did very well. Voice acting talent, very good, although there were moments where they definitely sounded a little bit too like casual and not in the situation they're in. I don't know whether that's just a case of they recorded the lines of dialogue beforehand and they weren't sure what situation they were going to be in, or whether that was the direction they were given, but there were moments when, like, there was the bit where they were in the helicopter just having a casual chat. It's like, you just went through some horrible shit. All of this is extremely tense, difficult stuff to be in, and you're just like, oh, it's fine. Oh, you're a good writer, Alan. My dad read your books. It's like, come on. But no, great story. Love the story, and the game, the atmosphere and the world building and that kind of stuff, all excellent. Like Bright Falls, the town came together very well, and the landscape and the area. Obviously, that last chapter we got to drive through so much of it, and we got to experience the forest and the abandoned buildings, the ghost town, and we saw the little motel and things. it did feel like this big area that you got to explore that was all very alive. And so, and also with a lot of it taking place at night, with a lot of fog and mist as well, they did a good job making that atmosphere work very well. And I wouldn't say, the thing is, I don't know if the game's classed as a horror game. I wouldn't really call this a horror game because the fear aspects don't feel like the primary focus. I think I'd call it like a narrative thriller maybe, or like a narrative action game with horror elements. Like there were some moments where I got a little bit jump scared by things coming at me and that kind of thing, but that wasn't, it didn't feel like that was the main draw of what they were doing. I'm guessing it's near the end of the credits now, but these are some long credits. And I mean, a lot of people worked on it. Obviously, it was a very, I don't know how mainstream was this. Like how, because I'm playing this, like what is it? 14 years after it came out? Is it 2010 or 2012? Over a decade. I'm playing this over a decade after it came out. I don't know how much of a wave I don't know how much of a wave this made when it first came out. Whether or not it was, I was aware of the game. Like I'd heard about it when it came out. But there were certain games that were on everyone's radar. It's like, oh, everyone should have played this. Or your friends are talking about, oh, have you played this game? I don't know if this game was one of those ones that quite fit into that category. I just generally couldn't tell you. See, this is why I like to trim out my ramblings. Because I've just gone through like 5 or 6 different categories in one bit. And the credits are still going. These credits have been going now for about 10 minutes. It's probably a bit less than that. No, as I said, so I had a big appreciation for the story and for the setting and for the locations and stuff. I also like the fact that the game's broken into episodes. And this is obviously me coming from a streamer, like because I was streaming the game. It's very useful for a game to be split into things like this because it makes it easy for me to play it. Each one of these episodes was 2 to 3 hours long. I've been playing this one for probably around 2 hours. So this final chapter was actually fairly quick. If you were playing this on the normal difficulty, I imagine it maybe would have been closer towards 3 hours. But each chapter is 2 to 3 hours, which is how much of a game I like to play on stream before I shift onto another game. And so, personally, I like it when games are split into episodes or manageable chunks. There are some games where it obviously doesn't work as well, but a story-based game, especially one that's based on a writer as well, it's all about the story. The fact that it's split into those little episodes makes it very easy to digest. The bad things about this game, they are minimal. I'm gonna say, like, I'm obviously gonna rag on the game a little bit for the combat, but I don't think it's in any way game breaking. Every single game has got some things about it that are rough, and that might be little things or it might be big things. But if the game's good enough, then you enjoy it in spite of those things. I think is a good way of phrasing it. And this game has been good enough that I have enjoyed it in spite of the combat, because I really wasn't enjoying it's not actually the combat. I think the combat isn't the thing. It's the enemies and the way the combat's implemented with those enemies. Because as I said, like, you walk through an area and a bunch of people jump out at you, and then you kill all of them and you walk to the next area and a bunch of people jump out at you, and the combat is all quite samey, the enemies are all quite samey. And when, like I've said, maybe it was my inability to dodge. Maybe my dodging ability was terrible. And it could just be that kind of combat doesn't gel with me. It's not the kind of thing I was really enjoying. But I was just laughing at facial animators. We'll talk about the facial animations in a little bit. The combat, I had a lot of trouble with it, and obviously I made the decision, like I said several times, I made the decision to switch the game into easy mode because I was much more enjoying the story aspects of the game and the atmosphere than I was the combat, because the combat took up a lot of the game's time, and I wasn't enjoying that. And so I have no objections to doing that. I also have no objections to people playing it on any harder difficulty. Like, if you enjoy the combat, like some people obviously would, if you enjoy the combat, that's fine. I've been told that the combat in Alan Wake 2 is better, so I'm interested to see, because I actually really enjoy the uniqueness of the way that you have to defeat enemies, because you have to shine a torch on them to like break the shadow barrier on them, and then you have to shoot them. And it's sort of an interesting mechanic in the fact that you've always got your torch out and it always points where you look. And so you can burn them down with the torch and break it, or you can then use your limited supply of batteries to enhance that and do it faster. How are these credits still going? How is the cast only just showed up? Is it just repeating the same credits? Honestly, like, this is, by this point, this is weird. Why is the visual cast and the voice actors the last thing on the credits list in a story-based game? I'm having a drink. My mouth's so dry from trying to talk through it. And a special thank you, people again. Why are these credits so long? I'm generally starting to think that they're just on repeat now until you turn them off. Miguel said the true credits are an Alan Wake novel. Alan, stay awake throughout the credits from John. I'm at the point now where I'm just reading the chat to people. So many people have worked on this. Oh, performed by All Gods of Asgard. Wait, is there an actual band called All Gods of Asgard? Or is it just that that's what they named the band within the game? Anyway, yes, so combat isn't for me. And it's the thing that makes me not want to go back in and play the game on Nightmare to read all of the extra stuff. I'm not going to do that, because it's what I feel like I've got everything I can out of this game. I actually genuinely might just go and read those myself. So if anybody else wants to do that, then go ahead. I'll be able to get a better understanding of the game and what happened in the game. John said so many people worked on the game and they couldn't just let you ride in a decent minecart. You know what? Biggest complaint about the entire game. The fact they put in, somebody programmed in a minecart track with a minecart thing that you could activate and ride in, and it didn't last very long. It lasted for a short, like 3-second bit across a path. Sudden stop. That's exactly what happened. It started and it stopped immediately. Alan Wake's journey through the night will continue. Yeah, I imagine it will. Hopefully the credits won't, though. I want to give credit to people, but that's a very long time. There we go. Menu. Story is done. Okay. Right, now that that's there, I can actually make my face big. Oh, it's gone off now because I press any key and I press a key to make my face bigger and it turns it off. Yeah, so my main complaint is that combat stuff, but like I said, it wasn't bad enough that it ruined the game. I enjoyed the game, I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed everything about it, and there were some segments of the combat that I did enjoy. When they only threw a couple of people at you, or when they started throwing some objects or the bulldozers and stuff, that stuff was very, very interesting. And it's a shame that the enemies were basically all the same all the way through, except for those few exceptions. So they did introduce some different tiers of enemies, like the chainsaw guy, and the different sort of ones that fought slightly differently, like some of them swung thin knives and some of them threw axes and stuff. They did introduce different types of enemies, but they all sort of played the same way, and they all got defeated the same way, which was the light and the shooting. It would have been interesting if there was some other element to them. Like, there wasn't even one that sort of recloaked itself. You would think that there would be an enemy where you burn away its shadow, and then if you don't shoot it enough in time, its shadow regrows on it and you've got to burn it off again. You think there'd be something like that, but obviously not. Maybe that's... I don't even know if Alan Wake 2's got the Taken in it. I don't know how close to this one it's going to get, because yeah, the Taken seems to be an aspect of whatever darkness or shadow was the villain in this game, and I don't know if that villain has been defeated or whether Alan just did what Thomas Zane did and found another way to keep it under wraps. Alan obviously hasn't written himself out of existence because Alice knew who he was. So I guess the story will probably be that Alice fell into the lake and Alan jumped in to save her and drowned. That's like the public story, I'm going to guess. And then Alan Wake 2 will be him somehow returning from where he's put himself. Other things about the game, the facial animations are shit. It's an early game, and I understand that facial animations, that kind of thing, are quite difficult to do anyway, and this game was years ago, and I'm not going to give it too much shtick for that. Too much, not take the piss too much. But some of them are very bad, and it definitely took me out of the scene sometimes when Alan's there and he's meant to look scared, and he's like... So, that's fine. I don't know, I think the only other thing I can think of is that you don't really get to know much about Alan, really. We know that he's a successful writer. We got snippets of who he is from some of the flashbacks and from things other people have said about him. Like, he's got a temper on him, and he wrote all of these bestseller books. And we got a little bit of that snippet of the interview where we got to see a bit of his personality, what he was like, his public face, I guess. But we definitely didn't get to know a huge amount about Alan. They also never answered the question of whether Thomas Zane created Alan, or whether Alan created Thomas Zane's involvement in Alan's earlier life. Because if you remember, the reason why the clicker was the thing that would defeat the villain is because Thomas Zane, in a page from Thomas Zane that was inside the shoebox, he said that he gave the clicker to Alan when Alan was a child and imbued it with the power so that it would then be useful in the future. Did Alan write that Thomas Zane did that to him, and therefore the clicker was retroactively inserted into Alan's life? Or did Thomas Zane create Alan's creativity when he gave him this clicker, knowing he would be the person to come back and defeat the darkness? I'm gonna need to go and read up, because I do want to, for my own curiosity, I do want to satisfy that little itch of finding out what happened in the story. But this summary has already been a bit too long because I was stuck with the credits, and like I said, I like to trim these things down so I can just get my succinct thoughts in, and I've not been able to do that. But I'm gonna guess, if you're this far in, if you've watched all of my episodes so far of Alan Wake, you probably at least like me a bit, and you're probably going to sit through me rambling about the game to get my thoughts. So I often worry that I ramble too much and people aren't going to listen, but I have to be aware that if you are at this point, if you've been listening through this whole thing, you obviously listen. You obviously care. The people in the stream are still talking. They've not left. People don't mind me talking about this stuff. I just have this opinion of myself. And I think that no one's interested, when in fact people clearly are interested. Otherwise, nobody would ever watch my stuff. Would I recommend Alan Wake? Yeah, I'd recommend it. I think the problem is, if you've watched my playthrough, then you've already seen the story. And then also, you've already heard from me that the gameplay isn't the best. So I say I'd recommend people playing it, but then there's not really much point in playing it, because you'd have got everything out of it that you would have got from my playthrough. But if you wanted to get the extra pages, or if you wanted to actually try it out for yourself and see if you can do the combat better than I can, then you can do that. But in terms of what games I'm going to play next, obviously Subnautica. I don't know, I think this is probably coming out... Yeah, no, this will definitely be coming out before the last episode of Subnautica, but as I'm recording this on stream, I have one more Subnautica session left. And once I've done that, I'm likely going to be jumping into 2 or 3 more games. And currently lined up in my head is BioShock 2. I want to play Pacific Drive, which, if people don't know, is a survival crafting game where you drive around in a car. I bought that one, specifically bought it because I want to play it. So that'll be one of the ones coming up next. And also, I think it's getting to about time where I need to play Doom Eternal. And if anybody hasn't watched my original Doom playthrough, which is on this channel, you can just go through my playlist and find Doom. It's one of my earliest ones, and the gimmick that I did when I was playing that is that I got drunk before I started each session, because you don't really need the plot in Doom. Doom's all about murdering demons. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get trashed and play Doom. And I didn't stream that, so that stuff was not streamed. So with Doom Eternal, the plan is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to knock back a few drinks and I'm going to jump into Doom Eternal. And we're going to have a rip-roaring time murdering demons. I will play Alan Wake 2, but it'll be somewhere down the line. Because, as I've said before, I don't tend to play the same game franchise twice in a row. I like to get a break from it. So I will play Alan Wake 2, but it'll probably be like in a year or so. Like Bioshock 2, I said. I'm playing Bioshock 2 soon. I'm going to play Doom 2 soon. Doom Eternal, Doom 2. I'm playing Doom soon, and they've obviously ones I played in the past, but it's a while back. Anyway. Yes. Good times. Alan!